Hello, I'm Nathan Judo. I'm here with Wolves reporter. It is Mr. Liam Keane. Liam, we just heard from Gary O'Neill. There's a small derby on Sunday, apparently.
Yeah, just a little one. And you can feel it in the air. It's a bit windier today. It's getting a bit nasty. I can feel it coming. Sunday's on its way. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. Look, we're going to go and obviously preview the derby and say what Gary O'Neill spoke to the media about. But there was an important update at the start of the press conference, and look, it's a little bit disappointing, to be honest, in terms of January and the window. Of course, the deadline day is on Thursday, and Gary O'Neill has been looking for a striker. He's been very confident of getting a striker. He said that many times. What's the latest update?
Well, not the best news.
No.
Now, Gary's tried to imply, or not even imply, say quite explicitly that it's not as negative as it sounds, which I'll come on to. But it's not great reading for Wolves fans. Essentially, they had a meeting yesterday with the recruitment team and Matt Hobbs, and a couple of the options that they were moving or pressing ahead with, that they felt they were getting much closer to. It's now been communicated to Gary and the recruitment team that they're financially not going to be possible as it stands. Now, there's lots of moving parts. Things can change in January. Players might become available for loan that currently aren't available, so I think that's an important point to make. But as it stands, those sort of primary targets aren't available, and they now move on to essentially plan B. They want to bring a striker in, they want to bring a winger in as well, but obviously striker's the priority, and they're now going to have to move on to targets that might be more financially viable but perhaps weren't the first available targets they wanted. Not ideal.
No, look, Gary O'Neill's very professional about it. I could tell that he's very disappointed.
Yeah.
Even after the Brighton game on Monday night, he was very confident that they would get a deal done. So that's obviously changed in the last 24 to 48 hours. And it does beg the question, Liam, that if they are looking at the third choice or fourth choice strikers, they're probably not going to be a starter going into this side. You look at the start of January, and Gary O'Neill was asked, of course, about signings. Striker was the main one. He told me that Sasha Kalajic will not be allowed to leave unless they signed a striker. They then changed the goalpost a little bit, and Fabio went, Sasha went, and I think because they were very confident of getting someone in, and now they haven't, are they regretting letting both of those players go? Because from the outside looking in, you're bringing someone in who might come on for 10-15 minutes in the game and give you a different option. That screams Sasha Kalajic to me if they can't get a deal done.
Part of the reasoning for letting Sasha go in particular that Gary's mentioned is that they needed to free up a bit of space financially to bring someone in. To have that as one of the reasons and then not be able to bring someone in financially, it's not a great look for Wolves.
They were always taking a gamble doing that, weren't they? Though?
Yeah, and we said at the time it was going to be a risk. I understand that they want Sasha to go out and play, and he needed minutes. I think for him it was the right move, and I think at the time, hopefully long term for Wolves, it might be the right move. Short term, they're taking a risk. They're taking a gamble. We said that at the time. I think it's even more evident now that's the case, and hopefully they can look to do something and bring someone in. But it's clear that Wolves are, being very careful with their financial situation. Rightly so.
Yes.
But to not have anyone, and maybe have Tawanda Traore and Nathan Fraser as a regular on the bench for the rest of the season is not the ideal place you want Wolves to be in.
Yeah, do you think this has been obviously very disappointing, but at the same time Nathan Fraser doing very well coming off the bench against Brentford. Hwang Hee-chan is away. South Korea have just got through to the next stage of the Asian Cup, but you expect him to be back soon. So the likes of Pablo Sarabia, Jean-Ric Bellegarde could be on the bench for Wolves, and they've all been tried in number 9 position. So it doesn't look too bad. I guess if Wolves were 17th, 18th, 19th, then this would have been a huge blow, maybe making a bigger deal. But the fact that they're 11th, that they've got 3 points away from 7th in the table, means that Gary O'Neill's shown that he can mix and match, and they can do it pretty effectively.
Yeah, they've had to cope, haven't they? And so far, so good in doing that. But my concern with Wolves, and it has been for some time, and to be fair, they haven't proven me right yet, but they may do, is that they will run out of steam a little bit this season because the squad is not big enough. And are they going to be able to get through some of the tougher moments in the middle of March, middle of April before the end of the season? That's the big question mark hanging over them at the moment. Now they might go and prove me completely wrong and sail through to the end of the season in the same vein of form they have been so far, but it's a big ask without maybe a couple of additions. So it's going to be an interesting 7 days or so, is it? Yeah, it's a week today, isn't it? Exactly, yeah. So a week today to see if they can make anything happen. Gary obviously wants it, but whether it's a reality or not, it looks unlikely at this stage.
Yeah, a week today, and that's including Sunday, which they're playing Albion, and deadline day when they're playing Manchester United. So time's running out, and we'll see what happens there. Look, let's move on to Sunday. Let's move on to the big one, Black Country Derby. Team news first.
Massive good news, big news that Ryan Aït-Nouri is fit and available. Gary's already spoken to him. They're expecting him to be in the squad. Whether he makes the starting 11 or not is a big question. I think we both agreed probably won't, but it's definitely not out the realms of possibility. Players have done, as I mentioned before, Hwang's come back from being away with South Korea in Asia with international breaks and come back and played from Thursdays to Sundays and started games. So it's definitely possible, maybe slightly unlikely, but massive news to have him back. Pablo Sarabia, small knock, hasn't trained up until today, but they're hoping he'll be fit. I think it was his calf, he said, small knock to his calf from Monday. They're hoping he'll be fine to be in the squad for Sunday.
He knows the importance of this, not just in terms of him managing this team, and he said that he'll be very proud to lead out this side on Sunday, but in terms of the players, knowing how important it is, and also for the fans. I think that's why a lot of the Wolves fans are delighted with the way Gary Neal, he says he just gets it, and he wants to deliver this, of course, because he wants to win a game of football, he wants to get into the 5th round, but he wants memories, not just for his players, for himself, but for the fans, because this is big. And look, it's been a pretty poor few last games when it comes to Albion versus Wolves, and look, there's a need for revenge there, isn't there, on Wolves' turn?
Yeah, Wolves have got a lot of work to do to overcome the last few years, but this is a massive opportunity to do that. And going into it, understandably, Gary's sort of taken the pressure off his side a little bit to say, look, doesn't matter who we play, we want to get through to the 5th round. For us, it's another game, blah, blah, blah. But then he gets pressed with questions on the importance of the game, and it's impossible for him not to answer it in the right way. And that is that he knows how big a game this is. The players are aware. The players have played in big derbies before, and this is as big as they come. So it's an opportunity for him and the players to make a little bit of history, and I think that fires him up a little bit. So if the players respond in the way that they should respond, and the way that Gary Neal is hoping they will respond, there should be a big performance coming on Sunday. But it's easy to say it.
Yeah.
You've got to go out there and do it. That's the difference.
Absolutely. Now, if they do it, Liam, and they play to their potential, Wolverhampton Wanderers should win this game of football, shouldn't they?
They should. That's the problem with football. They should win it. It's a Premier League team, a very good Premier League team, against a Championship side, a Championship squad, a team that's doing well in the Championship, but a Championship team nonetheless. Now, the derby atmosphere and the derby occasion will come into it to some degree. Do I expect Wolves to run away early on in the game and be super dominant on the whole proceedings? Probably not. It'll be a cagey, tight, tense affair. But Wolves should have the quality to overcome Albion, and regardless of being on their turf or not, you have to go there, take control of the game, and show their superiority, show who is the Premier League side. Wolves are far too good not to win this game, but it's been a very Wolves thing in the past not to win this game. So it's down to the players to prove a few people wrong, prove a few people right at the same time, because the Wolves should go and comfortably win this game, if we're being honest, and not allow the Albion or the fans to get into it.
4,000 fans, feisty, it's going to be an intimidating atmosphere at the same time, and I'm sure you'd agree, Liam, it's important for everybody to stay safe in this game, because we don't want to be talking about things that are off the field at the end of this game or before it.
Yeah, before, during, after, we don't want anything that is going to that was a nice friend of ours beeping away. Yeah, it's a really important point actually to mention, because I'm sure there'll be people travelling without tickets. There'll be a lot of interest around the ground. There'll be a high police presence. I'll just urge people to be sensible. Yeah. Enjoy the game for what it is. Get in there and watch, hopefully, a very good Wolves team put on a very good performance.
Prediction, please, Mr. Liam Keane.
I'll stick to what I said on the poddy. Fairly comfortable without being completely dominant. 2-0 Wolves.
Okay, I'm going to say Wolverhampton Wanderers 3, West Bromwich Albion 1. It's going to be exciting, it's going to be thrilling, it's going to be a little bit nervous at times, I think. It's a Black Country Derby, 11:45 kick-off, ITV1, and of course, we shall be there at the Hawthorns. For all the build-up on this one, make sure you log on to expressandstar.com.